Hi everybody, my name is Annika König. I am a video editor and I work for the company Nachtblau that is situated in Hamburg, Germany. Nachtblau is a company that does all kinds of things. We provide service in IT and broadcast. We support all kinds of media projects and we provide storage solutions, and we have come up with our own media asset management system, Media Loopster, which you can take a look at here at IBC if you like. At the end of my presentation, I will tell you where to find us if you are interested. But what I really want to talk about today is how we produce and help produce for our local TV show, RTL Nord. RTL Nord is a regional arm of RTL Television, the biggest private broadcaster in Germany. And I am a video editor and I cut for RTL Nord. And to be more precise, I am a news editor. And being a news editor means I have to be really, really fast. And our editing system has to ensure that I can work fast. And in my presentation, I'm going to talk about how news editing and Premiere Pro come together, which are my favorite features and which pretty new feature really gets us excited at Nachtblau, and we are planning to introduce in our workflow very soon. Before I do so, let me briefly take you back. 2014, we switched from Final Cut Pro, Final Cut 7, to Premiere Pro, while also moving from SD to HD. We got a whole new virtual studio, we got new equipment, we got a new look, and there were big changes. And everybody had to get on board, and there were still, there was a bumpy start. The editors didn't like the change. There were still, a few bugs in Premiere, and I started writing bug reports to Adobe and tried to really get on their nerves. And we got so much support. They had to, audio is a whole lot different in Final Cut and in Premiere. And they came to us and they helped us, and now editing works really well, and we are now great friends of Premiere. And we are always, really excited if there are new features. Our favorite feature at first when we switched was the mask tracking, because in news editing, blurring faces of criminals and victims is a big part of our job. And blurring license plates. And another feature we were really excited about is Lumetri Color. Because Lumetri Color made it possible for us, news editors, to do color correction. And to, we just do little things. We get rid of an unwanted color cast, and if we're totally in the mood, we, add some color effects. And we didn't really do this before. If we started color correcting, the journalist would, say, "What are you doing?" "I'm color correcting." "What? Stop!" We're happy when we're going to get on air, so we don't have time for color correction. So Lumetri changed that a lot, because we just have it open. We can quickly, adjust the slider, and that's great. But, aside from great features, most important to us is stability. If you work on big projects for longer periods of time, sure, crashes are annoying. But for us, it really breaks our neck. If you think about, imagine you go live on national television in a minute. We also do national television in a minute, and suddenly you see a beach ball spinning on your computer screen. And you're like, no, what should I do? Should I restart the computer? Should I just wait for it to go away? The journalist next to you is like, get this fixed. And we're really happy that those days are over, and Premiere is a software we can rely on, and we can think about editing and not about, is it going to last? So before I tell you about the third feature we are really excited about, first I will tell you just a little bit about myself. I joined Nachtblau about 10 years ago as a student assistant in the playout area during my film school studies. And it was my job to check segments, news segments, before they would go on air. So it was my job to watch television all afternoon, and I was being paid for it, which I thought was awesome because as a kid I was a huge TV nut, and I thought that's great. But it also taught me a lot about television. It taught me a lot about editing because I watched news segment after news segment after news segment, and I got curious. Being a film school student was great. I got to learn from Wim Wenders, who was my professor, big German director. But I never really liked going outside that much and being on set. You have to be on set when it snows and rains. You have to deal with actors. You have to carry heavy equipment around. Maybe I'm just lazy, but it never bothered me to be in a dark, small room with only a computer screen all day and be alone in there, or maybe just have another person there to keep you company. So maybe I was just born to be an editor, but I wasn't an editor at that time. I was a student. And I came in to Nachtblau, and I practiced and practiced and practiced. And I chose an editor, the best editor there, and I said, I want you to be my mentor, teach me. And she said, okay, let's do it. And she gave me all sorts of tasks. And she taught me about, the genres of news editing, if it's crime or if it's like more something with celebrities. And one day I showed her my timeline, and I did a piece about swans. Swans being let back on the Hamburg Lake after winter time. That's always a huge deal for our local show, when the swans get let back on the Alster. And there was a shot when the group of swans came around the corner towards the camera. And they were aligned so pretty, because it was like one swan and then two swans and more swans, and they were aligned like a triangle. And I thought, oh, this is pretty. And I speeded the movement up of the swans when they came around the corner, and I put like a slow motion effect on there as soon as they came towards the camera, and I underscored it with Paradise by Coldplay. And it was so beautiful, but also really corny, but it made me and my mentor next to me, we had goosebumps. I mean, it was silly, but even so, and we laughed, and she said, hey, I think you're ready. I think you're ready to start editing. Because she saw that I loved it, and I loved, playing with images or videos and creating emotions. And that's what I love about editing. And today I am a senior editor at Nachtblau. I train other editors. I am responsible for the management of everything regarding Premiere Pro. It's updating. We have a blog to keep all editors informed in Northern Germany if there are new features. So what I love about my job is, the mixture of having all this adrenaline and being under a lot of stress as a news editor, and also, being on the side of organizing and help make editing more efficient. So let's get back. I was talking about mass tracking and Lumetri being like our favorite features, and there's another one. And in order to tell you about this, I have to say something. I don't mean to brag, but we Nachtblau editors, we're great. We're really great news editors because, we are really fast. And we have to be creative, and storytellers, sure. And we have to keep calm all the time. There's always a lot of stress. And the journalist next to us is under a lot of pressure. But it's our job to get the job done, no matter what it is. Whether we have 4 hours to finish like a 2-minute piece, or we have only one, no problem. But there's one thing that gets me a little nervous and I'm not that great at, and that's graphics. And of course, we have to add graphics to our news segments. We have a graphics department, but the little things, we do the little things, and we have to get it done. And that makes me really nervous if, for instance, the journalist next to me looks at me and says, hey, maybe we can illustrate the numbers I mentioned in the segment about the average chocolate consumption in Hamburg compared to Germany for the years 2015 to 17 in an infographic. And I see I have only, I have about 10 minutes of time. I have a hard copy in front of me with a style guide for that news show, and the graphics department telling me what my graphic is not supposed to look like, and what it maybe, should look like. And I thought, we need more to work fast. We need templates. So a journalist, me, and the graphics department, we got together and we thought of templates for faster editing. And the graphics artist designed them in After Effects, said, here you go, here are your After Effects compositions as templates. And I said, great, thank you, but how am I supposed to get these in Premiere Pro? He said, well, you use dynamic link, don't you know anything? I said, yeah, but for dynamic link, you need After Effects. You have to go to Premiere Pro, back to After Effects, back to Premiere Pro if you want to make changes. And we don't do that. On some of our editing machines, we don't even have After Effects installed. Some of our editors don't even have any After Effects skills. And that's okay, they're still great editors. In news editing, we don't need After Effects. So, what I did is I went to Premiere Pro, and I rebuilt them all using only the old title tool. And of course, I had to get rid of some animation there. It was a whole lot more simple. We had more layers. But I got the job done. And I showed them to the editors, and I said, now you can start working. And they're like, oh no, really? So this is, what our graphic could look like. It's basically just, shape layers or solids or colored boxes and some text on them. And I'm really sorry about this example. This is not real news. This is fake news. I normally don't have to come up with the information myself. So if I have to do this, I'm going to come up with something silly. So this is the chocolate compare. Who ate how much chocolate in Hamburg in the year 2016? Okay, and let's say this is our graphic in our edit suite. And in the last minute, our journalist found out, she got the numbers wrong. There's a fourth group who ate chocolate in that year, and it's their pets, 1%. 1% of the chocolate was consumed by their pets. So we have to quickly, correct this graphic. We have to add another line, get more space. That shouldn't take too much time, right? It should be fast. And I tried this, and I want to show you. And you have to be a little patient, I'm going to warn you. And I want to stop the time and show you how long it took me to actually do this. Just a second. Okay. So let's start the time. Okay. And I tried to hurry, okay? There's a crop filter, so I can lengthen that panel. That's easy. I'll just do that in the program monitor. And now I have to move the source down so I can put new text on there. So look for the source. Move it down in the ECP. Okay, so almost there. Now we can add new text. We have to find the text in all those layers. Make some more room in the timeline. So we got a new layer. And we can now duplicate that. Okay, now we have an ugly name, copy 03, but I don't have the time to rename this. So it's getting already a little bit messier. And now I can change that text. It's now, I want to add pets. Whoops, need to think about the caps. Okay, pets. Okay, and I have to move this down too, because I'm doing this in the ECP. I could do this in the titler, but I'm going to do it this way. Okay, so now I can add another box. And the box and the text are separate as well because of the animation. So first the box. I'll duplicate that one as well. And I'll drag it down. You get the picture. You're gonna have to stick with me here. I'm sorry, but that's the whole point of it. And now, we have to fix that stairs movement of the animation coming in. So I have to find out how many frames is, what's the distance? And it's 5 frames. So I'm going to have to move that new layer 5 frames ahead and trim it at the end. Okay, so we got that. Now we can do the same with the text. And while I'm doing this, the journalist is next to me and thinking, why is this taking so long? It's just another line, because he or she doesn't know what it takes or what I'm doing there. Okay, so 1% for the pets. There we go. And I'll bring that down as well. Okay, and now I have to correct the number, the 60%. So it adds up to 100. It's only 59% that was consumed by the kids. And I have to correct that animation as well and move that layer frames ahead. Okay, so now, are we finished? Let's check. Okay, we got the movement, we got the headline coming in, and now the text, men, women. Uh-oh, there's a problem there. If you look closely, kids and pets come in at the same time. So there must be something hidden in there. I don't have a transition on there. So it's probably a mask on that layer, inside that layer. So I'm going to find out, panel text 3 is the new, copy is the new one. Let's look in an old one. Oh, and I see I have keyframes on there. So I have those keyframes, and I have to find out what is the starting point of the next layer for the first keyframe. And it's 10 frames later. I have to look, okay, it's 10 frames later. Whew. So I'm going to have to change this for the last one. 10 frames, move that forward. Okay. Now, men, women, kids, pets. Oh, we are finished. Okay, stop the time. 4 minutes. Okay, this took me 4 minutes, and this is way too much time for news editing. This is not even this doesn't even count as a template. So what happened? We have an alternative. We have we have one title, everything baked in there. And we just got rid of all the animation. We're quick, no animation at all. Maybe just add a cross dissolve to fade it in. But you have no more animation. So we were always hoping to find something better than this. And here we go. Mass tracking, Lumetri are our favorite features. And now there's a new one, motion graphic templates. With these morts. We now have what we want from After Effects inside of Premiere Pro. And that's great for us who don't know how to work with After Effects. We just, we take those graphics, the graphics artist designed previously that we already have, and we can, add the properties we want to be able to change as editors later to the essential graphics panel. And what we're not supposed to be able to change, he or she doesn't add. And there's a lot you can put in there, like opacity or color, and with a little workaround, even the position. And you need some coding skills. I'm not great at this. This is what I was able to set up. I bet you can do a whole lot more with this. And you see, I can import them in Premiere Pro. It's not like Dynamic Link. I don't have to go back to After Effects. I have the same panel here, and I can make my changes. And that's awesome for us. So, to make my point, this is the chocolate graphic we had, and it took me 4 minutes to make the changes I needed to make. And let's check out how much time I need to change this using the Essential Graphics panel. So this is the same graphic as before. Start the time. And what I need to do is lengthen the panel. And I have a slider here for the panel length. And I can just scooch that down. Now I need to move the source again like the last time. I have, my source here with the Y position. I can just move that down like that and move it up. Now I need another line. I'll add another line to this. There they are. They are all preset up, as many as I want. And I can add my text. And I don't have to think about fonts, or I don't have to think about, having it all in caps. It's already in there. And there we go. That's it. Okay. And this took me 49 seconds. So it's more than 4 times as fast as that stupid old title tool. So this is great for us. And this is what I did. I'm not a graphics artist, so I bet our graphics artists can come up with, much more sophisticated graphics, and we can import them in Premiere. And we are really excited about this. So my main point is that we are so much faster, and that's what we need in news editing, speed. And our timeline is a lot more clear now, and we have more guidance, because I don't have to think about the CI of the news show. I don't have to think about the RGBs that are allowed. I don't have to think about, what my design is supposed to look like. It's already there. And, this is just another simple example. You can even have something like a clock. And with the motion graphic template, we can change the clock to hour, minute, seconds, or only minute, seconds. You can get the time right in the Essential Graphics panel, and I can choose the color only according to the CI. So here I can choose white or dark blue, but nothing else. And what I find totally amazing is that you can copy them. This doesn't sound that amazing, right? But titles, you can't copy titles in Premiere. You have to alt drag them. You know that. And if you have these 16 layers, what you do is you nest them, because you don't want to carry around 16 layers if you move it. So you nest it. And then you can't copy that either. You can't alt drag that. You have to, of course you can, but you don't have individual nests if you need another version of it. So you go into the nest and you alt drag all the titles. You have to cut those. You have to go back to the original timeline, paste it, nest it, and then copy the attributes of the other nest if there are effects on there. You get the picture. That takes a lot of time, and you forget about that a lot. And you just copy, and then, oh, damn it, I have a second one, and now the first one has changed also. And with motion graphic templates, you know how this works? You hit Command C, and then Command V, and then you have an individual mogurt. That's amazing to me. That's the way it should work for me. And last but not least, with the titles, this is what I get in my project panel. This is only that one little graphic, and it takes up a whole lot of space. And to compare this is the space my motion graphic template takes up. So for me, as being the one responsible to update our project templates and moving it from one edit suite to another and so on, this is great because I don't get all my files lost that easily. So, more space. Okay, let's sum it up. More clarity in my timeline. I have a whole lot more guidance as an editor. I don't have to think about the colors or what I'm allowed to do. I can copy and paste them, and I have more space in my project panel, and I am fast. So, that's why this is our new favorite feature in Premiere Pro. Okay, so I'm finished, I'm done. Thank you for listening. And before I leave this stage, I would like to quickly just invite you to check out our MAM, our Media Asset Management System. It has a pretty UI, it's all clear. It does everything you would expect of a media asset management system. And it's called Media Loopster. And what it does, and that's special about it, it's a smart MAM. It loops the metadata, and you never lose it. So you can add metadata to every single frame, and when you edit it, and it comes automatically back in the MAM, it's still there. With every generation, the metadata stays there. And as an editor, what I like most about it is we have a panel integration for Premiere Pro, and it also works with other NLEs. And I do everything in Premiere Pro. I look for my media, I import my media, I export my media, and I don't have to think about codecs or formats because it's all baked in that panel. So that's great for me, one less thing to think about. Okay, if you like to check it out, you can find us in Hall 9 in the Launchpad 16. I'll be happy to see you there. Thank you so much for your attention. That's my time. Have a great day.